subscribe to Gizmo Times and get notified about our latest videos by hitting the bell icon. Hey guys, welcome to Gizmo Times. This is Chetan and this is the Vivo V9 smartphone that is just launched in India, and this comes with that 19:9 aspect ratio of display, which is now a trend in 2018. You'll see a top notch, which is another thing that you'll be seeing in most of the phones this year, and the V9 comes with a 6.3-inch full HD plus display with the 19:9 aspect ratio and 1080x2280 pixels of screen resolution. Along with that, the phone has the Qualcomm Snapdragon 626 chipset with 4GB of RAM, 64GB internal storage, and there's a camera combination of 16 megapixel plus 5 megapixel cameras on the back. While on the front, Vivo has finally come up with that 24 megapixel camera. Along with that, there's a 30-60 mAh battery that powers this phone. So that is the major roundup of specs, and now let's get on with the unboxing of the phone. So this is the box package of the phone, and what you see here is the pearl black variant of the device, and this comes with that glossy back. So first thing that you see when you unbox the phone is the rubber case, and this case is the transparent one. After that is the SIM ejector pin and also the indicator for the SIM tray on how you can place the SIM cards and the microSD card separately. Next is a set of booklets where the first thing is the quick start guide, and then there's a warranty booklet. Next, finally, is the phone. This comes with that glossy back as you can see here, and now let's keep that aside to see what else comes in the box package. Next is the travel adapter with the 5V2A maximum output for the charging, and that's the standard charging that you see here. Next is the USB cable with the micro USB connectivity, and finally these are the earphones with the microphone. And so this is the entire set of contents in the box package of the Vivo V9. Now let's talk about the phone itself. This is the Vivo V9. With that glossy back, you might be seeing a lot of reflection, but that's the case with this phone. And that's again the beauty of it, because there's another variant, the gold one, which is not reflective, which is not glossy. This one looks much better with that black color, and this runs the Android 8.1.0 Oreo based FunTouch OS 4.0. And the phone has the micro USB port in the bottom, alongside the 3.5mm headset jack, the microphone and the speaker grill, everything in the bottom. There's nothing on the top. And on the right side you see the buttons, the volume button as well as the power button. And on the left is the slot for the SIM cards, the tray that can be pulled out, and you can see two nano SIM card slots as well as a separate, that's a dedicated microSD card slot, which is rare these days because most of the phones have started adopting the hybrid SIM slot. Now getting into the interface, you see quite a lot of pre-installed applications. But then this is the UI that might be similar to the ColorOS on the Oppo phones or even the iOS on Apple smartphones. For the storage, out of the 64GB internal storage, we get about 50GB of storage available for the user, and there is the option for microSD card, as well as this phone supports the USB OTG functionality. Now getting into the about section of the phone, you see that this phone runs the Android 8.1.0 Oreo, and this is the processor, the Snapdragon 626 octa-core chipset that has a clock speed of 2.2 GHz. And it's 4GB RAM variant, out of which about 2.5 to 2.6GB was available after the first reboot. Now, one of the major advantages with most of these custom interfaces is the availability of so many features around the interface. You see a lot of gesture and motion features, and you see the other things such as one-handed mode, which can make the usage easier. There's also the app clone features, smart click, and the smart motion gestures, where you can use the features like smart wake, air operation, smart turn on or off the screen. These were there in a few smartphones already, in phones like Samsung smartphones, but those were only on the flagships, not on the basic phones. But here, getting all of this in a mid-range phone is quite a good thing again. Now, one of the major important aspects of the smartphone is this camera combination, not just the rear cameras but also one on the front. On the back is the 16 megapixel plus 5 megapixel camera combination, where the 16 megapixel camera has an f2.0 aperture while the 5 megapixel one has an f2.4 aperture. And this combination is for those portrait shots or the background blur, or what you call as bokeh. These shots can be taken when you use the two cameras together. And in the camera application, you see a lot of features such as the face beauty, which is present for both the rear camera as well as for the front camera, and the panorama shots. And under the professional mode, you see a lot of options that can be changed, where the ISO, the shutter speed, the white balance and the focusing, all this can be changed under the professional mode. Also, thanks to the new chipset, that's the 626 on this, you can record 4K videos. And that is possible not only with the rear camera but also with the front facing camera, that's the 24 megapixel camera. Something new that Vivo had talked about in this phone was the AR stickers. This is not to be confused with the emojis or the animojis what the other brands have been calling. Asus had their animojis, as well as Apple has their emojis from last year itself. This is the AR stickers that are similar to the Snapchat filters. This is all under a single pack in the camera application itself, and this can again be used with both the rear camera as well as the front facing camera. Under the camera there are the other modes such as the HDR mode and the portrait shots that we have discussed already. There's also the live photo mode, and there's Ultra HD, document mode, slow motion video recording, as well as time lapse. So these are the features under the camera application, and here we are attaching a few camera samples for you to know how good the camera is for our initial view. This is not an in-depth camera review that we are doing here, but then you'll at least know how good the camera quality could be here. So this was a quick hands-on of the Vivo V9 smartphone that was launched in India with a camera combination of 16 plus 5 megapixel on the back, 24 megapixel camera on the front, and a 19:9 display with the 6.3-inch screen size. But then for that size, this phone isn't that large because the screen extends almost towards the top and towards the bottom as well. There's only a slim chin towards the bottom, but on the top there is that notch, which might be a point to talk about for everyone this year. So this was the V9. And I hope you like this video. If you do share it and subscribe to Gizmo Times for more. Do ask any other questions if you have around this smartphone, and we'll try to answer that. And stay tuned for the next video.